It's Friday the 13th and we're back in business. As holiday season nears, the online retail space is witnessing an all-out price war. After a middling Diwali, online shopping portals are offering eye-catching discount for products to get internet users to loosen their purse strings, it seems. One such trend is the Google online shopping festival. That page saw over 1 million hits on day one alone. Joining me to discuss what's happening in this space, why is it so hot? Nitin Bavankule, Industry Director of E-Commerce at Google India, now joins in. Nitin, many thanks for joining us on Bloomberg. My first question to you, explain this to me. How does this shopping festival work? And how do you as in Google make money of it?
Okay, so this is an initiative which we've taken primarily from a point of trying to grow the overall ecosystem of the internet. So if you see, Google has been working on the Digitizing India initiatives, multiple initiatives like Get Your Business Online, getting Internet for Women, getting various heritage sites of India on internet. So similarly, GOSF, which is a short form of Great Online Shopping Festival, we started off last year. It was for one day last year on 12th of December 2012. This year it was scheduled on 11, 12, 13 December. But as you rightly said, we've just extended it by a day and made it for 14th December, which is Saturday also. But the reason we decided to extend is because on the first day we had some technical glitches on the website, due to which many consumers just couldn't access our website, which is www.gosf.in. Since yesterday extremely well. Even despite the glitches on the day one, which was 11th December, we saw more than 1 million visitors visiting the website, and most of the e-commerce players, you talk to any one of them, the larger ones or the smaller ones, everyone has seen an unprecedented sale for the first day and the second day, and today and tomorrow being the third and fourth day, we are expecting, as the weekend comes in, shopping should grow multifold over the next 2 days.
Sure, Nitin, hold that thought. Let me understand this better. If page views, if the number of hits were equivalent to footfalls in a brick and mortar retail store, are these translating into sales? I ask you this question in the context of the tepid demand that we're seeing for the offline retailers. Explain to us your own assessment of consumption demand.
So the way we look at Google is, I would say that the number of queries which come on Google search for any shopping or any product is generally we call it as an intent of purchase, and that's the reason why consumer is looking. So for example, if I as a consumer or you as a consumer are coming on Google search or any search engine and says, give me a price of XYZ shoes or XYZ mobile phone or XYZ something, the reason is you generally would look for that kind of information only when you are planning to either buy or planning to, someone else in your family is planning to buy, so that you get great information around it. Now, we are seeing a phenomenal growth on shopping related queries on any product, be it electronics, be it apparels, be it accessories like sunglasses or health products like nutrition and all that, or even for baby products and any of the product categories we look at. So the growth rate of queries this year in 2013 has been higher than the last year. So it very clearly shows a very phenomenal increase. Now, as you rightly compared, can it be compared with a footfall in the mall or a shopping complex? Yes, it's kind of a shopping. You don't walk into a shopping mall generally unless you are interested in buying something. So the moment a consumer walks into a Google search and asks for a shopping related query, it's as good as an intent to buy, and we can compare it with the footfalls in a mall. Now, how many of these translate to real shopping? It depends on what and where does the consumer land. For example, from Google search, for example, whichever website he goes on, what product is he planning to buy, because there are product wise there are buying cycles. Now, so for example, a 10,000 rupee product will have a longer buying cycle. People might take more time to think about or decide. A shorter product, less value product like for example a 500 rupee belt or a 1,000 rupee belt might be an instantaneous purchase. So how many of them convert immediately? It depends on, first of all, what product the consumer is buying. Second, which website is he going? And third, is he really liking the offer which is being made by the website where he's gone into, or the product or the price? So I think it depends on portal to portal. And if I see this year trend, and when we talk to most of the e-commerce portals, they are seeing a phenomenal increase in the conversion rate, as we call it, which is equivalent of real sales being happening.
Sure. You know, Nitin, I'm curious to know about one thing. I see that you've tied up with guys like Renault, Tata, and Nissan. Are you telling me that guys are actually buying cars online? Is that what you see?
Absolutely. So in fact, in the first 2 days, I'm sure you can talk to multiple car portals, as you rightly said, Nissan and Renault and all. For example, I know till yesterday, Nissan had sold 3 cars. Tata Housing has issued a public statement saying they have sold 22 houses in the first 2 days of the GOSF sale. So the great part is, in fact, when we launched GOSF this year, we very clearly said it's not only about buying a shoe or a cloth or an electronic mobile phone or a camera. This time we have multiple things, okay? High value products like houses, cars, and jewelry. Diamond jewelry also is being offered by multiple portals. Then there are services, for example, matrimonial services, health related services, educational services, jobs related services offered by all the various portals around that.
Sure.
We have entertainment. So in fact, if you see multiple entertainment like starsports.com or imagica.com,
right,
all of them are there. So the consumers are buying across different products and services, and that's the great success of this GOSF.
All right. One final question, Nitin. You know, what would be your own understanding of how you expect online buying or retail demand to grow? Could you give us some figures on the kind of audiences and consumers who are actually the first-time entrants who are coming into the segment?
To give you a ballpark figure, last year when we did GOSF on 12th December, it was a single day affair. Most of the retailers, in fact, came back and told us that over 50% of the shoppers on that day were first-time shoppers on their website. Okay, that is the primary objective of doing any such initiative, to initiate first-time buyers into various online shopping as an activity. So we definitely see that. Just to give you a ballpark number, last year, for example, our estimates are there were just about 9 to 10 million shoppers in the entire year 2012. This year, that number seems to be close to 18 to 20 million. So the online shopper as a base has doubled in the last 12 months. Last year, our estimates are that the industry was close to $2 billion. Our estimates are, and as per Analysys Mason report also, by 2017, the online shopping business itself will be close to $16 billion. That's an 8-fold multiplication in just about 5 years. Similarly, we expect that the number of shoppers will go beyond 50 million in the next 3 to 4 years.
Right.
So the number of shoppers are increasing, shoppers are coming back, and that's why the overall transaction value is increasing. And you can see the number of shoppers will multiply maybe 5x in 5 years, but the value of shopping would go at least 8x, very clearly showing consumers are happy, and that's why they are repeat buying on online portals.
$16 billion. Thank you, Nitin, for putting that in perspective for us. That was Nitin Bhawankule from Google India with his views on the online shopping festival that's going on. It's a huge buzz, and it's obviously evident in the kind of trends that we're seeing on Twitter today. But coming up next, we're also going to be talking about the rich list. Heineken's heiress, Charlene Heineken, ranked